Welcome back to MedHeads, the podcast where we break down health trends, medical news, and everything in between. Today we're tackling a topic that's been all over TikTok, the so-called Barbie drug, or Melanotan II. Promising a golden tan and even some supposed appetite suppression, it's being hailed as the ultimate shortcut to that summer glow. But here's the thing, quick fixes rarely come without consequences. So, is this miracle tan worth the hype? Or is it just another dangerous trend cooked up by social media? Spoiler alert, it's the latter. Stick around, because by the end of this episode, you'll understand why Melanotan II might do more harm than good, and how it's a reminder to approach viral health fads with caution. Let me set the scene. Picture yourself lounging by the pool, scrolling through TikTok. You see a creator showing off their deep, golden tan, claiming they've unlocked the secret to effortless beauty with a little injectable called Melanotan II. They smile, they glow, they make it look easy. Now imagine this. You follow suit, inject the stuff, and a few days later, your moles are darker, you feel nauseous, and your skin looks off. Maybe you're even in the ER, like one TikToker who shared her nightmare experience. Not quite the glamorous transformation you signed up for. This anecdote isn't just a one-off. It's a cautionary tale that speaks to the risks of blindly following trends without asking the right questions. So, what exactly is this Barbie drug? Melanotan II is a synthetic peptide, meaning it's a lab-made hormone that mimics the melanocyte-stimulating hormone in your body. This hormone is responsible for producing melanin, the pigment that gives your skin its color and protects it from UV damage. The idea behind Melanotan II is simple. Inject it, boost your melanin levels, and voila, you start to tan naturally, even with minimal sun exposure. It's marketed as a way to skip the hours baking in the sun or hitting up tanning beds. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, here's the catch. It's not approved by the FDA, and for good reason. Melanotan II hasn't been thoroughly tested for safety or effectiveness. That means there's no guarantee it works as advertised, and worse, no guarantee it's safe. The risks. Now, let's talk about what can go wrong. Because trust me, the risks far outweigh the benefits. Here are just a few potential side effects. Nausea and vomiting, and I'm not talking about a mild tummy ache. For some, it's severe enough to interfere with daily life. Appetite suppression, but not in a controlled way. It's an unhealthy side effect that can lead to poor nutrition. Spontaneous erections. Yes, you heard that right. This unexpected bonus has made the drug infamous in some circles. Darkening of moles and freckles, which might sound harmless, but in some cases, these changes can signal skin cancer. Infections. Since the drug is typically bought online, the risk of injecting impure or contaminated substances is high. Beyond these immediate risks, there's the long-term question. What happens to your skin years down the line? Dermatologists warn that while Melanotan II might deepen your tan, it doesn't protect you from UV damage. In fact, it might lull you into a false sense of security, increasing your risk of sunburn and skin cancer. So, why are people drawn to this drug despite the dangers? Well, social media plays a huge role. Platforms like TikTok are masterful at making trends seem normal, even desirable. Pair that with our culture's obsession with beauty and convenience, and you have a perfect storm. There's also an element of FOMO, fear of missing out. If everyone else is glowing effortlessly, who wouldn't want to join in? But as healthcare professionals and informed consumers, we need to look past the glamour and dig into the reality. Here's another twist. Because Melanotan II isn't approved, it lives in a legal gray area. It's often sold on shady websites without quality control, which means you could be injecting something completely different from what's advertised. And if something goes wrong, there's little to no recourse. For healthcare professionals tuning in, this is an opportunity to educate your patients. If someone asks about Melanotan II, don't just dismiss it as bad. Explain why it's dangerous and offer safer alternatives. For example, you could highlight the importance of wearing sunscreen and using topical tanning products that have been tested and approved. Additionally, emphasize the importance of body positivity. Tanning shouldn't be a measure of beauty or self-worth. Instead, encourage patients to embrace their natural skin tone while protecting it from harm. Now, some of you might be wondering, could Melanotan II ever be made safe? It's possible, but we're a long way from that point. Rigorous clinical trials would need to establish its safety and efficacy, and regulatory bodies like the FDA would need to oversee its production. Until then, it's better to err on the side of caution. Let's take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you considered a health shortcut? Did you pause to weigh the risks, or did the promise of quick results win you over? Trends like Melanotan II remind us that health isn't something to gamble with. It's an investment that pays off in the long run. That's all for today's episode of MedHeads, the podcast that keeps you informed and empowered. If you learned something new, or if you know someone tempted by the Barbie drug, share this episode. And remember, MedHeads is brought to you by meducate.com.au, your source for healthcare courses and content. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.